Next up, we got in the meat and beans group, or what we think of sometimes as the protein group. So the protein group or meat and beans group is going to encompass things like red meats, poultry like chicken or turkey, seafood, as well as beans, pulses, eggs, processed soy products, nuts, and seeds. So a pretty diverse group. I think of protein as being one of the more glamorous macronutrients because everybody's always kind of worried about getting enough protein. But the fact is that most Americans really meet or exceed their protein needs in their diet, and you can get it a lot of different ways. Now, these protein foods aren't the only place we get protein. Protein's found in a lot of other, like the grains and in smaller amounts in fruits and vegetables as well, but these are kind of our primary sources. So first up, I've got a little bit of tuna. Tuna packed in water. You can also get it packed in oil. If you choose packed in oil, it retains more of the omega-3 fatty acids, those heart-healthy fatty acids that we find in cold water fatty fish like tuna and salmon, but really it could be a taste preference. This is pretty convenient. You could get it in a can or in a packet like this, whichever you really prefer or find convenient, whatever's inexpensive for you. We've got a couple backyard chickens, so that's pretty nice for us. We get maybe 2 or 3 eggs a day. Eggs over time have kind of gone in and out of vogue nutritionally as some of our scientific evidence has changed regarding dietary cholesterol. I would just encourage people to remember that yolk also contains a lot of good stuff, like antioxidants, lutein, beta carotenes that are good for our eyes. Now, processed soy products really run a wide gamut. So that'd be soy milk. Here we've got Boca burgers, which are a soy-based burger that are really meant more of like a meat analog or substitute. So you can also get veggie burgers that are a little bit more like veggie forward, like a garden burger, where it's not meant to mimic a traditional beef burger. And the profile nutritionally of these foods is going to really vary. They do tend to be higher in fiber and lower in saturated fat than most traditional meat products, but sometimes they can be higher in sodium, so that can be a drawback. Tofu is a food that's actually been around for over 2,000 years. It's been used in Chinese cooking. So it's not a new food, not a new age food, but it sounds a little scary to some folks if they haven't cooked it before. Tofu is something that really takes on the flavor of whatever you're cooking it with. So just like you don't really eat chicken totally plain, you season it with something. Tofu is kind of the same way. If you're interested in starting to cook tofu, I would recommend either visiting The Grit, which is a really great restaurant locally here in Athens, and they have pretty famously delicious tofu, or look up a recipe online for grit style tofu. That's something that I find a lot of folks who maybe were a little skeptical about tofu end up really liking. Now, dried beans are a great option from the protein group. Beans are such a great food because in addition to being a good source of protein, they're also a great source of dietary fiber. Now you can get dried beans like these ones here. I've got some black beans, some pinto beans, and those are going to be really inexpensive. So the nice thing is they're really cheap, maybe about $1 per bag that's got somewhere around like 10 to 12 servings in it. But it does take that time investment of cooking those dried beans. So if you don't have that amount of time, canned beans are also a great option too. So like these particular ones are no salt added. They're going to be ready just about immediately. They're going to be, again, like low in sodium because it's not added. You could also rinse off that canned bean to remove about 40% of the sodium. I love these red lentils, or you can also get green lentils and black lentils too, I believe. Those cook really quickly, so they kind of have that great budget friendliness of a dried bean, but with the time benefit of cooking fast. You can also get some things like lentil-based pastas that are made with lentil-based pastas that are made with like chickpeas or black beans. Rounding out our protein foods, we're going to also have foods like peanuts, walnuts, almonds, and nut butters. So I'm allergic to nuts. I don't have a lot of examples of these in my house, so that's why you just see this one jar of peanut butter, but great source of mono and polyunsaturated fats. And then finally we have seeds. So a couple examples here. I have our high omega-3 seeds like chia seeds and flax seeds, but you could also think about other kind of inexpensive seed options like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and really maybe mixing those into smoothies or having them in a trail mix, a snack, or incorporating them into recipes. A great source of fiber as well as healthy fats and proteins.